Our next guest says Gen Z women do not have a manual. Her new book aims to change that. Freya India is a Substack writer focused on women and technology. Her book, Girls, is out today. Now, India writes, social media and tech companies have turned girls from people into products. Scan the QR code on the screen today to buy her book. And Freya India is also a contributing writer for the Free Press, which, of course, is owned by our parent company. Good morning, Freya. Really appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's start here. You write that girls have become, quote, products on display, things to be sold. That's a very powerful, bold statement. So what do you mean by that, and who's profiting?
Yeah, I think previous generations of women were, of course, sold products and procedures. But I think with my generation, we really are the product. So I think since the rise of social media, girls have grown up seeing themselves as really nothing but an object in a marketplace. So we're packaging up our personal lives for Instagram, we're displaying ourselves on dating apps, we turn ourselves into these professional personal brands. And then I think we wait for the reviews and ratings of other people, and that influences how we feel about ourselves. And so I think it's very different from how previous generations grew up. And yeah, as you say, we're really treating ourselves more like products than people. And I think that's why we're unhappy, because we're no longer human.
Why did you write this book? Something going on with you?
Yeah, I felt very anxious growing up. I felt anxious about marketing myself online. And I thought I was the only one who felt like that. And then gradually I started to see these psychologists come out, like Jonathan Haidt and Jean Twenge, and they were mapping out all of these charts, you know, rising rates of anxiety and depression. And it was kind of weirdly comforting for me to see these graphs, because I felt like, oh, maybe this is not just me. But I felt there was another part of the story to be told. So there was the story of a generation falling apart, but I wanted to tell the story of a generation being remade. So what are we being turned into? What is the pressure on us? And so that's my attempt with Girls.
But people could say, hasn't it always been this way? Does this feel different to you?
Yeah, I think that a lot of the anxieties I talk about in the book, every generation of women will relate to. My mum relates to, my grandma relates to. But I think that they're so intense now, and they've never been more profitable. So not only
That's the difference, the profitability part.
So not only does the modern life sort of amplify those anxieties, but I also think there's industries that can cash in on them like never before, because they have constant access to us through our phones and social media.
So we are raising a 3-year-old girl. How do we help her navigate this world? What's your advice to the girls who say that they feel a sense of powerlessness?
Yeah, I think for me, even writing the book, it allowed me to zoom out and actually see what was happening. Because I think for young women my age, we've never known any other world. We've never known any different. And so we look at people taking selfies and worrying about how they come across online, and that's just growing up.
Normal,
you know, that's normal. And so I think that actually for girls who are coming of age now, it will be a lot easier, because young women my age are now coming forward and realizing and putting together what happened to us. And there's much more of a conversation about it. And so I think if girls can notice when they're treating themselves like a product, and notice the industries that are involved, because I couldn't even see it until I'd mapped it out. And so I think the next generation, I actually have a lot more hope.
Really quickly, I mean, these social media companies, Meta, Instagram, TikTok, et cetera, they do have restrictions and resources for folks to sort of seek help. You know, are they doing enough? And by the way, is it their responsibility? Because their duty, the way our financial system is set up, is to their shareholders.
Make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I'm not hopeful that there's much they can do, because I think the nature of the platforms is a certain way. So, for example, there are loads of thoughtful influencers online. There's genuinely helpful information, but that's not what these platforms reward. And so I think no matter what they do, no matter what features they tweak, it's just the nature of these platforms to create competition, and then influencers have to become more extreme to get more clicks.
Yeah.
And so I think, especially for young girls, they don't have the context to put this in. So they're learning about relationships from social media or porn companies before they've even had one. And they're diagnosing themselves before they've even...
We could talk about this forever, Freya.
Yes.
Really appreciate it.
Your book's really good.
It is. And it's really on sale now. Scan the QR code.